What's up, everybody? It's Casey with Two Rolls Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the Browns to my greens. It's Jake. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Is that like a poop thing?
No, it's a composting thing. I've been composting lately,
Oh,
trying to
okay.
get some nice soil for the garden.
Okay. What you growing?
Peppers, tomatoes. I got a little bit of zucchini out there, and eggplant, some squash, a little bit of squash, pumpkins, watermelon, sweet corn, potatoes, and some cucumber.
Wow. It's a full garden.
Yeah. I got some more space. I'm like, maybe I should add some more peppers. I don't know.
I like peppers.
I'm not a big fan, but I want to make hot sauce and other stuff and like try to pickle and all this other stuff. So
Oh, are they like hot peppers?
yeah,
Okay. I
I got
mostly
some
just like green and red peppers.
like the bells.
Yeah.
I got some sweet uh bell peppers over there and and some other stuff too. So needs rain. I'll just say that.
Well, if you go out there one night and a naked man is digging up all the peppers and eating them, it's probably me.
Nice. I'll be like, I recognize that tushy.
Oh gosh. Anyway, let's get into our
Yeah, we're like, no,
news.
no. Before we started, you're like, no tangents this time, and then we just went on a tangent.
Well, I feel like the opener needs one.
Yeah, fair enough. I think you
All
got a little bit
right.
more than me there, right?
Yeah, I think one more maybe.
Yeah, I actually typed in the last thing, like while I was sitting on the toilet before we got on. I typed in the last thing that you typed in. Then I'd like scroll up, I'm like, darn it, and then I had to delete it.
Well, let's start with that.
Yeah,
So today, the Sandman trailer for the Netflix show dropped, and that's going to debut on August 5th. I watched it. What a ridiculously awesome cast, and I actually think it looked really good.
it's kind of hard for me to care about it, but I mean, whatever. I'll give it a go.
Yeah. I mean, I've not really read that Sandman, but I mean, the trailer, it was very captivating. I'll say
It
that.
was. I'll agree with that for sure. And then while we're on the subject of stuff set to premiere, I saw today on the Twitter that I Am Groot is set to premiere August 10th, which, not gonna lie, I do not care about that at all.
I don't like, what is it?
The way it sounds like it's gonna be Groot specific shorts. So that's all I know.
Okay. Like, did they get Vin to do it?
I'm assuming so.
It's like, man, he's either like got nothing going on or just really loves Groot.
I think he's a big old nerd. So I think that's like a big
Yeah,
helping part of it.
yeah, for
And
sure.
maybe he might be like, maybe if I become family with these guys, they'll put me in more Marvel movies.
I Am Groot, volume 10, like the Fast movies. All right. Speaking of Marvel, I guess old Joey Casada announced this week that he is leaving Marvel to make movies and other projects. So he will no longer be a bigwig there at the Marvel.
I wonder if that's going to be lucrative for him or not, because I don't know. He did a lot of stupid stuff with Marvel, so it's hard for me to think like, oh boy, this guy's going to do a lot of great stuff with the movies.
Well, I mean, no matter what you think of him, it's cool that he went like his path, his career path is very, very
Hmm.
interesting. And whether it's lucrative or not, I think it's neat that he got to this point in his career where he can do this. So
Yeah,
good
and
for him.
and he's probably sitting there going, I need a new challenge. It'd be really funny if him leaving Marvel to make the movies he's making are going to be DC movies.
No, I don't know.
I
I think it's just like stuff he wants to do, but I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm just thinking that'd be really funny since like this segues well into the next thing. Warner Brothers is looking for their guy to be the whatever, And it'd be funny if it's like, we're gonna get Marvel's head guy. But yeah, so there's a rumor going around. Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav reportedly wants Joker director Todd Phillips as an advisor for DC films, which is like the worst idea I've heard in a while. Because it's like, I mean, I'm not going to even say that was a bad movie, which it was a fine movie, but it's like, if you watch that and you go, this is the direction I want all of my DC movies to go, it's like, boy, you're going to alienate all of the fans.
Well, I will say what the CEO wants versus what, either Todd Phillips or the rest of the company wants could be very different things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about Todd Phillips, but I'm guessing if he made Joker, he probably doesn't want to undertake some big like umbrella thing like that. But who knows? Who knows?
I mean, if they give him a blank check, I think anyone would agree to it.
Right. So let's talk about other super popular movies. I'll do two and one here because they're basically the same thing. Morbius went back to theaters this weekend, and I didn't see what it did the whole weekend, but on Friday it only earned $85,000 nationwide.
I mean,
it's just so funny.
I mean, you can say only, but at the same time, think about it. It's probably playing at the, like in one theater, over 1,000 theaters, and it's, $5 tickets.
Somebody did the math in the article. It was like
Yeah.
$84 a theater.
That's pretty good.
Not really.
I mean, think about it.
Dude, I'm thinking about it. It's not good.
That's pretty good because okay, on a Friday, who's in their right mind is thinking to themselves, I got these rusty knives I could stab myself with, or I could go see Morbius. I'm gonna go with Morbius instead this time. And I mean, I'm just saying, if you're making like more than $10 on Morbius, that's like just an automatic win. Because again, that movie looks terrible.
It does, which is a really good segue into my next bit here, which is we're getting more Madam Web casting news. So they're adding Isabella Merced, as well as Tahar Rahim. Rahim is an unknown role. I didn't see if Isabella was a known role or not.
I mean, I'm sure they're very famous Madam Web rogues, like
it's Sony's most anticipated film. Yeah. Okay. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if after this Morbius revisit to theaters, if we hear very soon that Madam Web is not happening.
No, I doubt it, because Sony's for some reason is being so stupid where they're like, we need to keep doing these movies because No Way Home made so much money. People want Spider-Man stuff.
They want Spider-Man.
It's like, give us Spider-Man or Silk or Spider-Gwen or Spider-Man 2099 or any of the cool Spider-Man.
A standalone J. Jonah Jameson movie.
There we go. And he's basically saying what we're saying. He's like, I want Spider-Man.
Yeah. And if it's gosh, what's his name?
J.K. Simmons.
If it's J.K. Simmons, we're all gonna go see it.
Yeah, it'd be great. But it's just like, basically any of the Spider characters. If you did Spider-Ham, even, that's gonna do better than Morbius. It's honestly,
I would want a Spider-Man noir movie. I think that'd be super cool.
It would. And it's like, all of those Spider characters are like what the people want. Nobody is like, I think we should do a Madam Web or a Morbius or
that El Muerto or whatever his name was,
or Thug number 5 from issue 728. It's just like, what are you doing, Sony? Come on.
They don't even know.
Yeah, there's like some of these are gonna make money probably. So we're getting a live action 5-episode Essex County series coming March 2023. Where I saw this, I didn't see what it's going to be on, but it's pretty exciting. I really like Essex County. It's a Jeff Lemire comic for those that don't know. It's real good. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't read it, I'm sure Jake can order it for you. So just, send him a text.
He can, because he just ordered it for himself.
Nice. You're going to finally read it.
Well, I ordered it.
I'm going to finally read it 10 years from now.
Yep, I sure will. But no, I think that's honestly pretty exciting. I hope that it's good, and I hope that Jeff Lemire gets his bag for it.
Yeah, I mean, my main worry is because I mean, you've seen at least I don't know, since you probably don't have your book in yet since you ordered it.
I did. I just got it.
Okay, so it's this thick.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a quick read, but it's this thick. And it's just 5 episodes. I mean, if they're hour-long episodes, it might be fine. But still, I mean, I know it's splitting hairs. It might be. But it's I think since it's 3 stories, they should do 6 instead. 2 for each story. But that's me splitting hairs.
Right. Well, we'll see. I'm hopeful for it. Okay. So I would have missed this if it weren't for a friend and listener of the pod, Scotty, who brought to my attention that we got a gameplay, kind of a gameplay trailer for the Sonic Frontiers game. So I went and watched that after he told me about it. And honestly, man, it looks pretty cool. I don't know. It's almost like what Sonic 06 should have been, but also there's no weird, is Sonic gonna bang that human girl stuff going on? Because I don't see any humans in it.
I mean, you lost me.
Sonic 06, no furry stuff, just a Sonic open world video game, kind of like the Sonic Adventure style type stuff. Yeah. So I really hope it's good. Sega needs this.
I mean,
and also Jake needs this.
Did you also hear about the new game that they're making? It's all Big the Cat. It's called Big the Cat's Revenge, and he's just got a shotgun and he's just killing all of the chows,
screaming Froggy.
Yeah,
because Froggy ran
off again.
I would play that in a heartbeat.
Okay, so this is just a quick little thing before I get to the thing that I think we're both more interested in. Riley Rossmo's leaving Harley Quinn at issue 17, which it's that's kind of the main reason why I'd want to read that book and why I checked out the times I did, because I like his art, and Jake just is disgusted by it. So I think he might be able to pick up a Harley Quinn book now.
I'm not disgusted by it. Also, you're not even reading that anymore, so
I know. I'm saying that was the only reason why I ever picked it up in the first place, and now I'm I don't even have that reason anymore.
Okay, my last thing. We are getting a 10-issue comic series for Yoda in October. That's going to be by Kevin Scott and Nico Leon. So if anyone's ever wanted a Yoda solo series, let your local comic shop know and hop on that 10-issue series.
Is this going to be the how they made Grogu?
I hope it's just 10 issues of him sitting in his hut on Dagobah, just eating lizards and stuff.
He keeps getting calls about him having this kid, and he's like, "Don't remember you, I do." Okay, so we got the first promo images from Black Adam. It shows the JSA action shot of Hawkman and Black Adam going at each other, which, that's a very Hawkman thing to do, to pick a fight with the guy that could easily rip his wings off. But did you see him?
I mean, it's artwork, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Okay, it looks like something that could be on a t-shirt, a Hot Topic.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they all look cool.
Yeah. I'm still Hawkman's not my favorite. design wise, because it looks like he's got like the chest plate thing. I'm not super hot on that personally.
You want a bare-chested hawk, man.
I mean, bare chested, but with a hairy chest, because that's, you know, that's how he's like a real bear.
You want 2003 James Robinson, Jeff Johns hawk,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that's how it should be.
Which is an awesome one. So yeah, no, I totally agree. He more looks like just like a Thanagarian warrior, you know, but I still think it looks cool.
Yeah.
And really, like, everyone else I think is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. No, I'll be honest, I don't have much knowledge of the old, oh, what's her name? The
Cyclone.
Yeah, I was gonna say Twister, but I'm like, that's not right. Yeah, I don't have much knowledge on her, so I'm like, I can't really be like, Cyclone looks dead on, or
He doesn't at all.
Okay.
It's not even close, but it's still a cool costume.
Right on.
I mean, really, you watch One Punch Man, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like that one girl that's in the top 3 and makes tornadoes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So her like black witch dress, imagine if that were green, and then she's got like red and white striped socks that go all the way up. And that's what Cyclone's supposed to look like. So it's like, I can see why they didn't go with that, even though I think it looked good in the comics. But what they did, you know, they got to update it a little bit. So
is that why you bought me those big knee-high socks to wear?
Anyway, I think that's it for the news. So let's take our ad break and then we'll talk some comics. All right, man, you got a story or anything for us? A topic?
Not really. I mean, I'm just, my contacts were bothering me, so I was like, I'm gonna wear my glasses, but then like the light, it just kind of like shines, so like I look like an anime villain. But like,
gotta do that every time.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, I'm not gonna wear my glasses. So if you show me anything, it's gonna be like last week where I'm like,
well, I'll talk about something real quick.
All right.
So I've been playing Elden Ring. Are you familiar?
I'm familiar. It's by the Dark Souls people, and it's supposed to be like even harder, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about even harder because I haven't played Dark Souls, but
boy, I hated it.
It's the hardest game I've ever played, though, hands down. Very, very difficult. I put like 10 hours into a magic based class, and dude, early game I was just getting absolutely wrecked. So I restarted, decided to do like a sword and shield knight based class, and at least now I'm able to like protect myself, and it's making the game a little more enjoyable.
Right on.
But dude, you could not ask for a more beautiful game. Like, seriously, the most gorgeous game I've ever seen.
Which is, you know, looking at the scenery is probably pretty nice in between deaths.
It's very nice, yeah. Dude, the thing that always, like, I'm going through like a dungeon or something, and every time I think I'm safe, there's like a little small opening in the hallway where something just comes at you, and it always scares the well, we're on YouTube, the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So it's a terrifying game. The game honestly does scare the shit out of me. There's so many creepy things in it, but it's fun. It's really fun.
I'm glad, man. Yeah, like I couldn't, when I tried to play Dark Souls, it was more just frustrating, and I was just like, boy, do I hate this.
Dude, I get it. Like, I get to a point fighting some villains where I'm like, people do this for fun. Like,
that's how I feel with like Monster Hunter. I like Monster Hunter, and I really, really loved it when I first started playing it. But then it's like every time you're fighting a dang monster, they're like, oh, I'm gonna run away, and then it runs off, and you have to then, it's not like, oh, you have to like watch it run off for a little bit, and then you're not as fast as it. So I have to like, and then I finally find it again because it's way faster than me, and I find it again. It's got its power back a little bit, so I have to start chopping it away and trying to kill it again, and then it's like, well, I'm gonna run away now, and then it runs off again. I'm like, this has been 3 hours of this.
I've never played that, but I have wanted to, and My buddy is over on the Testing Room podcast. Love Monster Hunter. It is one of their favorite franchises. So one of these days I need to try it out. But
like I guess, and you'd probably have to talk to them about it, but I guess like this newest one, it's a lot more dummy friendly. So like there's a lot of stuff in it that you don't have to do. Like my brother he plays one of the earlier ones where like you had to make sure you had sharpening stones at all time because you have to sharpen your weapons if you run out of and like in this one it's just like no, you just have the sharpening stone, you don't have to worry about it. It's just always going to be there for you.
right.
And then like tracking down the monsters, you just once you fight them you automatic, and like if you've tracked them a little bit you have their scent, so you can always track them. So like after you beat them up a little bit and they run off, I don't have to like hunt them down or anything like that. I can just go to the map like, oh, there they are, I go there. But like when I hear, like I was listening to Tokyo Lives and they were talking about it, I'm like, this sound like these old games, why would someone play these sound like a nightmare.
I don't know, man. I guess it's just the challenge thing, you know? I feel like every franchise, most people say the hardest one is the first one. And then they appeal to the casuals more and more as it goes.
Yeah, I just
but
want
that is
one.
not the case with Elden Ring.
Yeah, it sounds like it got even worse from Dark Souls.
Yeah, which I do want to try those because like, you know, I love that kind of setting, just that super dark fantasy type stuff. So it's like, man, I really should give it a shot, even if I'm gonna hate myself for a while doing it. It might be worth it just for like that lore and stuff.
Yeah. There used to be a Twitter account where it was like playing Dark Souls, and it was just like kept going like, I died again.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah, just every.
So real quick, just to really drive home how frustrating it is. When you kill something, you get runes, and they're like currency, and you use that to level up. If you die, you drop all the runes you have. Now you can go back and pick them up wherever you died, but if you die again before getting them, they're gone. So you gotta play smart.
Yeah, that's a problem for me. I'm not smart.
All right. Welcome back, folks. If you would like to hear Casey and I talk about some video game stuff, we talked about Monster Hunter and Elden Ring and Dark Souls. You can do that over on our YouTube channel. That is Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube. But now we're going to talk about some comic books. So, Casey, what did you read this week?
So last week I read Punisher 2, and then I read Punisher 3 this week, which I'll just briefly talk about that. But then I read Newthink #1, Ghostrider #3, What's the Furthest Place from Here #6, The Batman 2022 Annual, Strange #3, Shadow War Omega #1, Justice League Road to Dark Crisis #1, and Action Comics the 2022 Annual. What about you?
I have to say something really embarrassing.
Okay.
I didn't read Road to Dark Crisis. I totally forgot it.
Okay. I was like one of my last, I had it like set up to be one of the last ones I talked about. I'll move.
I know. I will be sure to read because #1's out next week. I'll be sure to read both so we can talk about it.
There's some fun dick stuff that you'll enjoy.
I like some good dick play.
I know you do.
Anyway, I read Hardware, the Storyteller, Action Comics Annual, Batman Annual, Shadow War Omega, and Strange #3. Oh, and Red Sitha as well.
Nice. Okay, so I'll just start really quick talking about Punisher. Issue 2 and 3. I'm not gonna really go into huge detail because they're already out, but it's by Jason Aaron, and I don't have it open, so I'm Say's on the art. And so basically like I have a lot of problems with this book, and that's the last of them I'm reading because of these problems. Like, so basically what's as a non-Punisher fan like me, because like I'm not a huge Punisher fan, what would you say is like his main thing outside of just shooting people?
Oh, I was gonna say guns. I don't know, killing mobsters.
Well, I mean, it's like his family dying.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, for those that don't know, he was a dude in the military. He loved Captain America, was in the military, and then he was a cop. He was a good man. His family died, and then he didn't like basically the way the police handled it, and he decided he's going to handle it better. And then now he's a crazy vigilante that murders people. And
The natural progression.
yeah, the way, and then the way it works. And so in this though, it's now been like, nah, he was an over the top kid that would like beat up bullies with like different weapons that he had. He once murdered a dude, and like all this other stuff when he was a kid.
They
Like he
changed
lit
the
him on
origin?
fire. Like his family still died, but that's like he was always this like little psychopath this whole time, which I just think kind of ruins stuff to me, because it's like I think it's more interesting having this guy, like this good dude who just had everything taken from him. Now he's like, I don't want anyone else to be like me. That's how he was. And now it's like, no, little psychopath who like hospitalized the bully, who murdered this dude that killed, like this guy that owed him money. And then like, the hand was always like, oh, this is the reincarnation of our grand killer and all this stuff. And yeah, it's just like, you're kind of just ruining him, in my opinion.
Put on your tinfoil hat for a second, Casey. Is Disney paying Jason Aaron to ruin the Punisher on purpose for radicals?
No, I think Jason Aaron's probably like, I have this really good story to do for Punisher. Because if it was anyone else writing it and they're doing this, but it's like, it's Jason Aaron. I see him being like, this is a story I want to tell. And then he just tells it. And then like Donnie Cates will come in and be like, none of that mattered. I'm telling my own story. Like they do. So, to me, it's just like, this is just a crappy take. I mean, it's not as bad as like Frankencastle or some of the other terrible takes that Punisher has had, because he's had plenty.
Didn't Fraction do Frankencastle?
Yeah, I mean, it's still bad, but it's funny. Like that's the thing that you can take away from it. It's like Fraction. I think it was Fraction. It might not have been, but it was because like I started reading when Fraction was on War Journals, and there's some like really crazy stuff. Like he had a gun that shot swords.
Sure, he did.
Yeah, it's like, it's so stupid but awesome. And in this, it's like, this is more serious, but he's the hand of like he's the new reincarnated hand killer and all that stuff. That's why he's a psycho killer. And there was one line that like I thought was kind of funny, because it's one of those things that like someone on Twitter would say, and it was like, of course, like the handling that's like falling around, like, I knew that the reincarnated greatest killer of all time would have to be in America, where they breed killers. And it's like, I mean, I guess as far as like over developed countries, we do have the highest rate of killings, but it's like, compare us to Somalia. Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's my cup of tea.
I mean, it's like, I think if you're a non-Punisher fan who doesn't care about his past, you'll probably like it, because Jason Aaron does quality stuff. I just don't like completely changing them and like that, and it kind of, to me, it ruins a lot of what made the Punisher interesting. Now it's just like, oh cool, now we have a guy that's killing people, and he's not silly with it like Deadpool.
Right. Fair enough. So what would you get it or grade it?
I mean, I'm not going to really rate them since it's a week old. I just wanted to kind of give my spicy take on it, I guess.
All right. Red Sonja, Red Sitha, number 2. It's written by America Andolfo and Luca Blanino. And then it's illustrated by Valentina Pinti. And I like this well enough. It's Sitha and her long lost brother trying to find their parents. And, there's some stuff with the sorceress, and there's a little bit of a heist in this issue. It's just all sorts of sword and sorcery fun. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Right on, man. Okay, I'm gonna start with Newthink, number 1. It's by Greg Hurwitz and Mike Diodato Jr. And I was like, I don't know what to think about this before I got it. And I got it. I'm like, boy, this is dumb, because it's all about screens, and the screens came to Earth because they're aliens, and then they slowly take over our lives, and all that. It's like one of those things that's trying really hard to be deep. And it's like, oh, we're looking at our phones. This is our world where we're controlled by the screens. And it just kind of sucked. It's just like, it's like when you're trying really, really hard to be deep, but you're not.
Right. That sounds terrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't like it at all. If someone's listening and they really, really liked it, I'd love to hear why. But yeah, to me, it just didn't hit for me. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10. The art in it's pretty solid though.
Okay. All right. Next, I'll do Hardware. This is season 1, number 6, which is the final issue. It's written by Brandon Thomas and it's penciled by Dennis Cowan. And I think it wrapped up things pretty well. Hardware's got to fight, the milestone version of Jamie Madrox. And then the stuff with Alva comes to a head. But Curtis comes out on top. They get to expose Alva, and then he gets arrested. So, and then it kind of ends with him just thinking about being a hero in general. And he looks up and sees Icon flying through the sky. And I don't know if that means that they're going to do something together, but it says to be continued in milestones in history. So I'm looking forward to it, whatever that is. But I like this a lot. The old Hardware was fine. It wasn't one of my faves, but I thought this was a very solid read. So, at this point it's over. So if you're interested in it, I would check out the trade. But yeah, I think overall, I don't know, it fluctuated between like 7s and 9s. So I'll just say 8 overall for the series.
Right on. All right, so next up for me, it's Ghostwriter number 3, and this is by Benjamin Percy with Corey Smith and Brent Peoples on the art. And dude, I loved it. Like, this is such a cool, weird, creepy book. So much crap is going on. You get Ghostwriter on this like highway that's terrifying. There's like a held truck, and Ghostwriter fights a truck by becoming a truck, which is ridiculous as it sounds, but so cool. Like, look at Ghost Truck.
Okay, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome. It's stupid. I love it. Yeah,
first appearance of Ghost Truck Rider.
So that's the crazy thing too. We didn't keep this in our news, but Sony actually bought the rights to Ghost Truck, and it's making a 5-part series.
Sony's Ghost Truck. That's so funny.
But no, I actually really, really love this book. It's hard to put down. It's like I want more of it. I wish this was like, Marvel is doing this tri-weekly, but sad or tri-monthly, I guess.
Tri-weekly. Monday,
like,
Wednesday, Friday.
Yep, perfect. Because I really like it. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10 probably.
Wow. Ghost Truck is pulling in the big numbers.
Dude, if you get a Ghost Truck toy, send it my way for free.
I'll let you know. Okay. So now I've got the Storyteller Shapeshifters. This is number 4 of 4. It's by Darren Bennett with art by Danny Pendergast. And I like this. This was a pretty creepy tale about like a shape-shifting fire vampire spirit that slowly is killing this little girl's mother, and then the little girl figures out how to stop her and does so in a perfectly, something that would happen in a myth story, so a very mythological way. And the art is just really, really gorgeous. It was a very solid final issue for this mini series. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, and I really, really hope that they announce another Storyteller soon, because I just love this series a whole bunch.
Right on, man. Okay, so next up is What's the Furthest Place from Here? And this is by Rosenberg and Tyler Boss. And this is just a fun time. You get like they're on trial, but like last issue they ended up being in a cyclone, like the one circus ride where they're standing and they're spinning. And one of the girls throws up while she's in it, and the guy's like, don't you better not throw up on me. And then like it just shows like while they're in the cyclone, the throw up's here and the dude's here. And then like when it stops, it just gets them right in the face.
That's hilarious.
But so they get put on trial, and like things get decided on what's going to happen to them. They all get split up. This book is really, really good. I'm very, very much captivated by it. And it's honestly, this book is the reason why I didn't give Ghostrider a 10, because this is a 10 out of 10. I really, really like this book. It's such a meaty book too. You're getting so much stuff for only $3.99. Where if this was a Marvel book, it'd be like $8. Same with DC, So that adds to it too.
Right.
And if you have like a hipster friend, this is all already up their alley. Just give it to them. They'll be like, "Ooh, this is obscure," and they're gonna love it.
Yeah, let them know that each issue comes out with a vinyl record that you can pay too much extra for to listen to while you read it.
I wish the vinyl record was just Boss and Rosenberg doing the voices of everybody.
Really bad exaggerations.
Oh, yeah. Like how I do Batman.
Right. Okay, I've got our 4 mutuals. So.
Okay. So this one should have been a mutual.
I'm sorry.
Justice League Road Dark Crisis. And I'll find the page. Okay. So we have Team Up by Josh Williamson and Dan Jurgens, Life of Purpose by Jeremy Adams and Rose Campe, Survivors by Charlie, please, my name's Chuck Brown, and Fico Osio, The Pariah, Philip Kennedy Johnson, and Leila Del Duca on the art, Because the Night by Stephanie Phillips and Clayton Henry, and then we have everyone else. So yeah, the first story, Team Up, it's John and Dick Grayson hanging out. Basically, Dick's having to, tell him like, yeah, they're dead. Who cares? They all come back. And, he's like being very closed off about it. And then they kind of like have like a talk, heart to heart. And he's just like, I'm acting too much like Batman. I get you being upset. And, it just kind of ends that way. Like it's this too, like very nice, wholesome bro moment. And it's good stuff. Only downside really. And this is like, I love Dan Jurgens' art, but the way he draws Dick, he 100% looks like Dan Jurgens' Bruce.
Yeah.
And
or
then,
Superman, really.
Yeah. Well, the hair, that's the big difference. That's Bruce Wayne hair.
Yeah.
And then like the other part that kind of annoys me, and this is like one of the things that's like my main problem with them letting everyone know who Clark and John, how they're both Superman. It's like, oh yeah, Superman's here talking to the billionaire Dick Grayson, who's never around when Nightwing's around. And then, they're talking together. Then, oh, there's bad guys. Let's change in public.
Did Tom Taylor write this?
Yes, I mean that's like the main problem with that, but that's a fun story. The next one is the Flash story, and I really, really like this one. It's so good. It's just basically Wally kind of like, yeah, these people are dead. I know they might come back. Doesn't make it any easier. When I lost Barry, like this is like all his internal monologue, but he's like, I know the bad guys are going to be out in full force, knowing people are dead, so I have to take care of them. So Ace, who, if you don't know who Ace is, that's Kid Flash, because Wally and Wallace, it's stupid to have them both be named that. They go out and they kind of team up, and like at first Wallace is like not feeling great about it, but then like Wally keeps making dad jokes and being stupid, and then that kind of makes Ace like more comfortable. And then they make a bet like, last one to get done, buys dinner in Chicago, and that's it. It's like, it's a nice story. Then we have like Hal Jordan and Aqualad or Aquaman Jackson team up, and then like that Hal finds out that the Justice League is all dead, and that that's basically it. It's a good team up. And then the Phil Kenny Johnson story, it's got Pariah, and that's like this is like one of the weaker stories just because I don't care about Pariah.
I don't
Like
even know who
it's
that is.
yeah, it's the dude that made the machine that killed them in
Oh,
that one issue.
okay.
So yeah, I just wasn't super into it. And then the last story, it's about Nocterra. We get some Stephanie Batgirl sighting, and yeah, it's fun. All in all, this is like a really solid issue. Like I think the Dark Crisis is pretty stupid. I'm like really really tired of the Crisis books, like so tired. But this is like a really solid issue, so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Do you think it will have been essential reading for next week's number 1?
No, I think. I mean, like, because there's only one part where it's like this will be to continued in the thing, and then it's like, I think it's kind of like how that it's the last story, and it's gonna be setting up stuff with like this group of villains, but even that I'm not convinced it's gonna be that big of a deal. It's just kind of like some good story stuff.
Right.
So what order do you want to do these in, man?
Since there's only one Marvel, let's do that one last. So
Okay.
let's do Action Batman Shadow War Strange.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So we've got the Action Comics 2022 annual. It's written by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Cy Spurrier, and the art is done by Dale Eaglesham and Ian Churchill. I didn't really care for it.
Really? I liked it. What didn't you like about it besides Cy Spurrier?
Well, the thing, I don't even know which part he wrote, but it's just like there were some good character moments with, in the kid story, with that bully.
Yeah.
But man, the other one, I just like, it's just really hard for me to care. I don't know.
I see. I really liked it because it 100% shows the difference between the two. I think it's kind of lame how it starts off with like Mongol, being such a like comparatively such a wimpy Mongol, and then it's like, oh no, now he's hardened, like that type of thing. Like he wasn't a jerk to begin with, even though he had every right to be. But the only thing that I didn't like about this story, it's like it's a little too over the top with like the trying to make Clark wholesome when he's like cutting his hair for his mom. He like breaks the scissors, he gets the garden shears out, breaks those. He's like, oh poop, and then he like gets the chainsaw. He's like, oh poop.
Right.
It's also like the chainsaw's a big step up, bud. Like that'd first off be terrible to try to cut your hair with.
Yeah, and that just added to my not really caring for it too much. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of goofy. Just kind of goofy.
Yeah, but I don't know. To me, reading it, I just really liked how I liked seeing the contrast between the two, because it's just like, oh, basically both of their mothers formed them into the people they were, which it's like, I mean, Jonathan Kent deserves a little bit of credit for Superman. Come on. But
Yeah, for sure. What are you rating it?
I'm at an 8.5. Like I said, I did like it a good bit.
Probably at a 5 on that one.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Batman 2022 annual, and this is by Ed Brisson. And who did the art? I should have
John Timms, I think, right?
Okay. I mean, that sounds good. So you sound very confident with it. Yeah, John Timms. What were your thoughts on this?
So this one I liked a lot more than the other one. I think that this new character, Gray Wolf or whatever, looked awesome, except for like some of the chains, like it's just not practical. But his mask was super cool, and he turned out to be, spoiler alert, a good character. like a good, morally good character.
Mhm.
And it's interesting to see how Ghostmaker leads Batman Inc. And where Clown Hunter is in his training. And I don't know. I just thought the story was pretty neat. And then at the end, Grey Wolf was going to join the team, which made me happy because I was like, this guy's too cool to just be a one and done character.
Yeah, like, so I didn't like this one as much. Like, we're very flip flopped on this. Like, I thought it started off pretty strong, but then like as soon as they Ghostmakered it, where it's just like I went through and I beat all of them to prove how much better I am than them. And it's just like, oh, okay. And then he's like, you all suck, get out of here. Except for you guys can stay. And then they all just get their butts kicked anyway. It's just like, you really kind of like made all this whole team look terrible. Like, they're just bad. So I really just didn't like that. And like, yeah. So I mean, it just really annoyed me with the way they did Ghostmaker. And it's still just like, I was hoping when Tynan stopped writing him, he'd be a little bit more likable. Like, I mean, he's always been cool, but it's like, boy, they just amped up his unlikableness and then also better than everybody-ness. And I'm not a fan.
I wonder, do you know if Ed Brisson is doing the Batman Inc. book?
I have no idea. I mean, I was hoping Williamson, but who knows?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably like a 7.5 on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say 6, but I'll say 5.5 because yeah, it just didn't do it for me. I will agree that the one new character is pretty cool though, looking.
Yeah. Okay. So now we've got Shadow War Omega, and it's written by Joshua Williamson, and art is done by Steven Segovia, Mike Henderson, and Howard Porter, which is a very solid lineup of artists. But what do you think of this one, dude?
Thought the lot of the stuff was cool, but the whole vision, like, there's a lot of stuff that was really stupid in it. Like, Robin, like, Geoforce makes this giant monster of rocks, and Robin just like Shadows of the Colossuses and climbs up and kicks him in the face. And he's like, Robins don't kill, except for the times I killed people, which have been several. I even went to an island where I was murdering other people, but we don't kill.
Yeah. I did think that part was stupid because, like, I get that maybe he's not like an A tier character, but Geoforce should be pretty strong. I mean, the
Yeah.
dude can whatever that power is, Terramancy or whatever they call it. But it's just like, dude, Robin's gonna just take him down no problem when he's inside the giant rock monster. Come on.
Yeah. It's the same thing too with like how they had Talia beat Deathstroke last issue, which was so stupid. And then, like, speaking of that, Deathstroke, his healing factor must have been working against him because he died. Like, they have to, spoiler alert, toss him in the the Lazarus pit to bring him back, and then he turns it into oil. So,
dude,
yeah.
I love the art for this part though, like a lot.
Yeah, I wasn't into it.
I know you're not because you don't like Howard Porter.
I mean, I'm sure he's a very nice person. I have nothing against him, but it's just
except for his art.
Just not my cup of tea. I would never take it away from anybody though. But that Batman and Robin picture at the very end, that's the chef's kiss. So it was awesome.
Yeah, agreed. What's the grade?
I want to like it more than I did. I'm probably at a 6 at it. Some of the art in this is so good though.
I'll say 7 then, because I feel like I did like it a little more than you, and I give an extra point for Howard Porter's art.
Yeah. But I mean, like, okay, for those watching, like this part right here, where it's the giant thing, that looks awesome.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, I mean, so there's just so much cool art in it. It's just like, boy, they're bringing out the big guns to make their villain of this comic Geoforce. Wow.
This was their chance to make Geoforce like cooler,
Yeah, or I don't know. Just I like at least Williamson. Like I really do think a lot. Like, half the time Williamson's just like, okay, so this hack writer did what? Okay, I guess I'll try to work and do something, because Bendez did that. Then like all the stuff Tom King did that Williamson had to then like correct and stuff. So I think that's a big part of it, but I could be wrong. Okay, so last up, it's Strange by Jed McKay and Marcelo Ferrara on the art. And I actually enjoyed this. I love the part with Rose and Clea when she's like basically telling him like, oh, I don't make deals with gangsters. And then, she's just basically threatening that she's going to murder him in like a gruesome way. And he just like
Yeah.
folds.
Yep. I agree completely. There is one thing I want to talk about, and we talked about it off pod for a bit. But I've made this complaint on here before when writers don't know anything about firearms. And it happened again here where, villain number 2 of this organization is like, that's right, 3 whole minutes without magic. And the cyclic rate of fire of an AR-15 is 700 rounds per minute. The Rose says hello, by the way. And here's what bugs me about what he said. An AR-15 can shoot 700 rounds per minute if you're not trying to hit anything. If you're simply just, how fast can this shoot with me doing nothing but reloading it as fast as I can and not aiming anywhere in particular. So it just bugs me that he's just throwing out like the highest possible number just to make it sound worse than it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like when they talk about something dumb or something that they say that's dumb about farming or whatever, and you have to correct them. It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. The one thing though is like I could see these knuckleheads, these bad guy knuckleheads saying this type of stuff, being like trying to scare the person they're about to kill. Like, my gun can shoot this. Like, I don't know any of these gun terms, but it's like, my gun can shoot lava. You're gonna die, girly, like that type of stuff. And then like, then she just turns out like, I love lava, ha ha ha, and then just kills them all,
I get that. It's lame either way, because he's just going to stop and push up his glass and be like, the cyclic rate of my AR-15 that's pointed at you could shoot. It's like, shut up, just shoot the gun.
You don't need the say, all that. You could just say, I can shoot 700 rounds a minute, per minute, and we're going to make you into Swiss cheese, you dame, like that type of stuff.
Right. It was just, I thought it was lame. It took me out of the moment, and it just, I don't know why it was in there.
I will say, as a non-gun boy, no issues, because I don't know anything about guns. Like, I'm sure it's the same way when they're like, the silicon rate of this ear of corn is this. I'm like, they don't even have that for corn. What are they talking about?
Yes, precisely. And it's not even like I'm just like, oh, how dare they get the stats on the AR-15 wrong. It's just, I don't know. It was weird. It was just weird is all. But
yeah,
I wanted to get that out of the way, because that was the only part I didn't like about this issue.
Yeah,
everything else is great.
I love this, and I think it's hilarious that she's gonna have to have dinner with her mom, and they're like, refreshments will be served, a list of dietary requirements will follow.
Yeah, it was great. I really like, dude, Jed McKay is killing it right now between Strange and Moon Knight. Like, he is so good.
Is he gonna get a nomination for best artist or writer this year? Maybe
he might be. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. It would have been perfect apart from that one part.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 10 because, like I said, I'm not a gun boy. But what are you excited for this coming week, bud?
So I think the three I'm most excited for, it's gonna be Dark Knights of Steel, uh, Jane Foster and Mighty Thor, and then regular Thor. What about you, man?
I'm gonna say I'm like kind of pumped for Aquaman Andromeda. I'm
Yeah.
hoping it's gonna be good. We'll see though. It could be a nightmare. Then I'll say, since you went with Thor, I'll go with Twig because I did like the first issue a good bit, and then Ginny 02 number 2. Okay, man. So when I was reading the Shadow War thing, I was like, boy, Deathstroke's healing factor and how it's working against them makes no sense to me. So I was wondering, what are 4 other superheroes, or characters that have powers that make no sense either?
Sure. Uh, the first one that comes to mind is Domino. It's just, well, it's just luck. But I don't think luck is a superpower. So that's just one that just never, like, as much as I like Domino, it doesn't make that much sense.
Say that to Black Cat or Long Shot.
I will. It's the same thing.
They need to make a team where it's the 3 of them.
Yeah. Then next is Arm Fall Off Boy. Like, I don't know if it's like doesn't make sense so much as just why is it a thing? Like it's a power that he can remove his arm and then just hit people with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If someone's trying to rob a convenience store and you were able to rip your arm off and smack them with it, you know what they would do? They'd be like, not worth it, and they would leave. Like, you're not going to stop Galactus with that, but you'd be able to, save that convenience store because they'll be like, this guy's, and he just ripped his arm off and hit me with it.
I think that works a little better.
Cyclical rate of this, this pistol is 700.
And then he's like, oh man, and he leaves.
Yeah.
Next is Rainbow Girl. Rainbow Girl was an applicant for the Legion of Superheroes. And what she can do is change her mood at will. And again, I just don't know that that's a superpower. And if it is, how does that matter at all? Just doesn't make too much sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I kind of agree.
And then lastly, I don't know his name, but there was a guy on Ecstatics who was like a skateboarder. And I don't even know if it really was a superpower. He just had this weird relationship with his skateboard where he could control it with his mind, but sometimes the skateboard had a mind of its own. And I remember there was this one time where the skateboard beat him up for cheating on his girlfriend or something like that.
Dang.
And it's just like, please explain this power to me.
Yeah, right?
Because I just don't get it. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't know his name for you guys to look it up. But if you do ecstatic skateboard, I'm sure there's only one thing that's going to pop up for that. So what about you, dude?
I mean, one that comes to mind right off the bat, outside of Deathstroke and his healing factor, so I'm just gonna be salty forever for that. It would have to be Thor and his hammer. The hammer is the big part there, because it's like, yeah, Thor is a god of thunder, blah blah blah, and then it's like his hammer. It's like whoever's worthy. And it's like, well, how do you decide whoever's worthy? The plot decides.
But dude, the thing is it didn't used to be that way. The question of who was worthy, it was Thor, and that was it. And Wonder now it's Woman, too damn confusing, huh?
Wonder Woman briefly,
and Bill.
Yeah,
but see, here's the thing: you can argue that it started with Bill, but that was a good story.
Yeah, and then wait, when did Masterson pick it up?
That was in the 90s, right?
Well, no, because okay. So Donald Blake had it for a while, and then didn't Donald Blake kind of just get phased out, and then it was just Thor, and then Marvel was like, we need to reintroduce a human element, so they had Masterson, and Masterson and Thor shared a body again, like how he did with Blake.
I don't know when that would have been offhand. I'd have to look it up.
So, and it's like, it's like, you know, these other superheroes, they're not worthy, but you know who is? An architect.
Yeah, like it's that, you know, Bill is just trying to save his race of people from Surtur. It's like, yeah, okay, that's pretty worthy.
I think
Like this guy that draws plans for skyscrapers.
in all fairness, I do think he, because I've not read it, because like most of my Masterson stuff comes with like his late Thor stuff when it was just him as Thor over into Thunderstrike. But I think he actually was trying to save Thor because Thor was getting double teamed by some baddies and the hammer got away from him and he tried to save him. And then it was that type of thing. But I could be mistaken. But still, though, it's like, how many times has Captain America tried to save him?
Who?
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think of some other ones that I can just go ahead and go with. Flash. I mean, like the Speed Force stuff, like once you really start thinking about that, you're like, what does any of this mean? I know it's all fake science, but like, come on, guys. Make some of it make sense. Then Superman's flight, I don't understand. Like Daniel Tosh had a joke about that where it's like, when can some nerd here just explain to me like how Superman flies faster? Because it's just not like, you know, like that's just not, it doesn't make any sense. It's not like it's running.
Right.
And I don't know, Wonder Woman's invisible jet. Why does the people on Themyscira have invisible jets? And don't try to tell me the Patty Jenkins nonsense where she's like, I'm wishing for it to be invisible, and now it is.
Yeah, I can't explain that one.
But those will be my 4.
All right. Man, I really hope that we get some comments from other people on this week.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. And hey, if there's any that we know and we can explain, then heck, that'd be pretty cool.
Agreed.
Be cool if we're, you know, look more than just posers.
All right, but I think that is the end of the episode. So closing plugs, if you would, please go to facebook.com/twoworldspodcast and give our page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, please go to our YouTube channel. That is 2 Worlds Podcast on YouTube. And Casey, before you add to it, I want to say that we're probably going to do the next episode of Anime Boys this week.
Sounds good, man. And on our YouTube page, just comment down below like what your favorite anime villain is that has shiny glasses.
And is it Casey?
I hope it is. But we'd love to stay in chat, but we gotta commingle in the compost here to make some sweet, sweet soil. Bye, guys.
Bye.